You can hear me clearly, right? Rajesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, let's get started. So last class, we discussed about, we started operators, right? So we discussed about arithmetic operators, correct?
Yes.
Arithmetic operators हो गया था. Then we did, how do we do power? If you have to do 5 cube, how will I do it? Do you remember?
Yes, sir. We put a 2 star
Correct,
and
2 star.
right
Perfect.
3.
Perfect. Okay. Next, we did bitwise, right? Bitwise,
Yes, sir.
we did left shift, right shift,
Yes.
right? We did left shift, right shift, and or at a bit level, right? Then we did comparison operators,
Yes, sir.
okay, where we were comparing, okay, and this is how we used. We used double equality equal to compare if the two numbers are equal, right?
Yes. Or
And we
not equal to
used
also.
this one and this one to indicate like exclamation mark and equal to check if the numbers are not equal to, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we discussed about logical operators also.
Yes, sir. And or not.
Yes. Logical operators and or not. Correct. So we had we write in small letters, okay, and or
Okay.
not. Okay. Today we'll see what is called assignment operator. How do you assign values to variable? We've been using it, but we'll see it, okay, once again. So if I say val1 equal to 5, this is your equal to operator, right?
Yes.
So we are assigning value 5, okay, or integer value 5 to variable called val1,
Yes.
right? So that's what assignment operators mean. We are assigning value 5 to a variable val1. Then we have okay okay, so they're called shorthand notation. Okay, so here you see always a value that needs to be added will be on right side, and one that will take the value, right? That will take the value. So यहाँ पे val1 is taking the value. So
Yes.
value val1 is on the left side, right?
Okay, sir.
So this is what we do, isn't it? Okay. Now let's say okay, so this is always like that. Okay. Okay. Now let's say I want to use something like this. I want to increase the existing value by 10. Whatever be the value of val1, okay, whether it's 5 or 10 or 15, whatever it is, I want to increase it by, let's say, 10. Okay. So what I'll do, I will say val1 equal to val1 plus 10, right? So right now, so what will the value of val1 be? So print val1 करूंगा तो क्या आएगा answer?
15.
15, correct? Because
Yes.
initially I set the value to 5 and now I am increasing the value by 10, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, what Python says is, okay, that if you are doing it like this, if you are incrementing the existing value, okay, so
Okay.
you can, okay, you can you know, you can do a shorthand notation or short notation. How? If you're using val1 and val1, right, you delete one val1, okay, you delete it, okay, and you change the sign, okay. If you are doing val1 equal to val1 plus 10, it becomes val1 plus equal to 10,
Okay. Okay.
okay, and this is true for any arithmetic operator, okay. If you want
Okay,
to increment, if you want to multiply same variable, okay, I want to multiply value 1 with 5. So I will say,
Hello, sir.
yeah, hi
Sorry to
Anashina,
interrupt, sir.
no problem.
Yeah, sir. Priyanka name is students will join the join the class, sir.
Sure, sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, sir. Sir, continue, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry, sir.
no problem. Okay, so this is how we are doing equal to, right? So same variable, okay, we are incrementing by 10. Now let's say same variable, okay, I want to multiply also, right? So if I say val1 equal to val1 into 3. So what is the value of val1? राजेश
15 sir.
अरे देखो फिर से
वो अभी तो वैल्यू ऑन ओके 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 अभी होगा 45.
correct 15 into 3 45. So what you can do is you can remove val1 and interchange the sign. Equal to into becomes into equal to.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and this is what you can do with all the arithmetic operators, minus, division. So if you're doing val1 equal to val1 minus 10, you can say val1 minus equal to 10. Okay, if you are doing val1 by 5, val1 equal to val1 by 5, you can say val1 division slash equal to 5. Okay, so you can do it for all the arithmetic operators. Okay, so shorthand notation, it saves some time, that's all. Okay, so it will save some time, okay, and some characters. Okay, make your program little more smaller, right? So that's the
Yes.
beauty of the assignment operator. And as I said, you can do it for all the arithmetic operators. You can do it for plus, minus, into, division, modulo. What is modulo? Why do we use modulo?
Modulus modulus
Yes, yes.
modulus is a reminder of
Reminder,
any
exactly. Right?
value.
So
Yes.
if you have 45, let's say we try to divide 45 by 10. So I'm going to say val1 equal to val1 modulus 10. Right? Now this should give me, so val1,
5.
right? This should give me 45
Modulus
by
of
10.
value 1.
Yes.
5.
5, exactly. This should give me 5. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So I can write this as what? Can help me to rewrite this?
Val 1 equal to val 1 modulus equal to 10.
Exactly. Okay. So this is what we call as short notation for performing this arithmetic operator. Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
these are our assignment operator. Okay.
Okay.
These are our assignment operator. Okay. Now there are a few more operators we will discuss when we start talking about advanced data structure. We have like in, not in, is not. We'll do when we talk strings. Okay, so after a few classes we'll be doing strings. So we'll do strings. There we'll discuss about those two operators. We call them as membership operators and identity operators to check if a value is there in an existing string or not, right? So you can use indirectly. You don't have to iterate through each values in a string or a list to compare the value is present or not. We can directly use in operator to do that. Okay, so we'll do it when we get into string. Okay. Now, okay, so I think we have covered the basics of Python. Okay, we will get down to our next level. Okay, which is we'll start with say if else. Okay, let's start with if else. Okay, couple of things which I want, what we have discussed before, I want to reiterate. One, in Python, the indentation is important, isn't it? So
Yes, sir.
I cannot give a space here, in the beginning. Okay, this will be wrong. Okay, Python will give error. Okay, so if you run it, you get indentation error. Okay, you get indentation error, unexpected indent. Okay, so Python actually enforces this rule on indentation. Okay, and what we have seen so far is that we've been executing the program line by line, right? So if you have a program of 12 lines, first your line number 1 will be executed, then line number 2, okay, then you have line number 2, 3, so on up to 12, right? You cannot jump from 5 to say 8, right? So sequential execution will happen. Okay, but of course we can manage this execution. Okay, so we have something called as loops and conditions. Okay, so using loops and conditions, we can actually decide which portion of the code will be executed. Okay, so first, as I said, right, we'll talk about condition. So what is condition and when do we use condition? Okay, the conditions are used when you have two choices or more than one, right? May not be two. I mean, it can be 2, 3, 4. So whenever you have more than one, for example, the program that we've been doing, okay, after you assign value 5, okay, to val1 variable, you are incrementing it by 10, you want to print it, you are multiplying by 3, you want to print it, you are doing dividing by 10, you want to print it, so on we are doing, right? So you have only one choice. This is what you want to do. Okay, after doing line number 1, you have something else to do, right? So on, right? But let's say you have two choices, okay, or more than two choices. For example, you want to calculate sum of values. Okay, so let's say you have 5 values and you want to calculate sum of 5 values. Okay, so you can easily calculate sum of 5 values, right? A plus B plus
Yes.
C plus D plus E, let's say, if those are the variables. Okay, after adding, okay, you want to see if the value is even or odd, right? So I want to print if the value is even or odd. So I cannot print even or I cannot print odd. I have two choices. Okay, so I have two choices. One, I have to say odd, or second, I have to say even, right? Now there is some condition, right? Based on that
Yes, sir.
condition only, I will decide whether I want to print even or odd. Okay, so for example, we'll take this number. It's say val1. Okay, and I want to print val1 is odd. Okay, let's say we say val1 is even, right? So I have two choices, but I will be printing one of these two choices, not both the choices, right? So this is where we use condition. This is where we use condition. Okay, based on some condition, we will print either odd or even. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the condition, the command that we use in Python is called if. Okay. Now if is used in all the languages. Okay. C, C++, Java,
Yes, yes.
.NET, everywhere we use if, right? Even scripting languages, JavaScript, so we use if. Okay. So if is used to check the condition. Okay. The implementation is a little different. Okay. In Python. Okay. So if is followed by a condition. On what condition? Okay. So for a moment, let's say we want to print if value is less than 100, you want to say hi. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say if the value of val1 is less than 100, you need to print hello. Okay. Let's say this is the condition. Okay, only one condition. Okay, we'll come back to odd and even later.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if the value is less than 100, you will say hello. If it is more than 100 or equal to, right? Opposite of less than is greater than or equal to, right? So if it is greater than or equal to, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything. Okay. So for example, when you print it, we get 5, value is odd or even. We added print, so it is printing. Okay. Before this, I want to check if the value is less than 100 or not, isn't it? So what I'll do is I will say print, okay, print hello, right? But this should be printed in a condition, right? So I'm going to use what is called as the command for condition check if followed by condition. In bracket we put. The condition is what? Val1 less than 100. Okay. So see, we discussed about comparison operator, right? And logical operator. Comparison operators and logical operators are used here. If this, okay, if the entire thing that you give, you can give one comparison or you can give multiple comparison operators. So when you give multiple comparison, they should be connected with logical operator. If you're saying less than equal to or equal to whatever, like this is comparing value. So when you have more than one, here we have only one, and as we go along, we'll see different more examples. So here we have only one, so not a problem. But if you have two comparisons, you have comparing two values, then those two values has to be combined with either and or. Okay. Going back to this example, if value 1 less than 100, so what it says is, if this is evaluated to true, whatever we give in the bracket, if this is evaluated to true, the condition, the statement that we put after if is executed. Okay. So for example here, val1 less than 10, okay, we write colon. Okay. So colon indicates end of condition. It means that we do not have any condition. Condition is written before colon. Okay. So if condition colon, and after colon, okay, this print has to be inside if. That means if is true, if the condition in if is true, that's when this print hello should be printed, isn't it?
Yes.
So okay, so we have to do print, right? So in this case, print hello will be printed or not? Tell me.
Printed, sir.
Will it be printed?
Yes, sir.
It will be printed, isn't it? Because the value 1 is what? 5. And 5 is less than 100. So 5 less than 100 will be true. This will evaluate into true. So this will give us true. So if true, then what we print inside if is printed. So in this case, if I run, you get hello, right? Okay. Now what I'll do is, I'm going to say val1 equal to, okay, or I can say val1 into equal, okay, into equal to, let's say 100. In this case, value will be what?
Value,
500.
sir, will be, yes.
So 500
Greater
less than
than.
100, false,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So if it is false, then the content that we put in if is not printed. So in this case, hello is not printed. Why? Because value 1 is 500 and 500 is not less than 100. So condition is false and the if part became false. So whatever we put in if will not be printed. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how we can manage whether you want to print something or not. Okay. The second thing I said was, while we were discussing this, content inside if. How does Python know what is the content inside if? Or as a programmer, how will you put content or statement, content inside if and outside if? Okay. How will you put inside if or outside if? Okay. Now you see this. If you start from first line without giving in space, it means it is part of main program. Okay. All these are part of main program.
Main program.
If you want it to be inside if you want this line number 17 to be inside if, you have to give at least one space. Okay, Python says you have to give at least one space as indentation. You can give more than one, I don't care. Okay, so you can give 1, 2, 3, or 100, doesn't matter. But you need to have at least one blank space. Okay,
Okay, sir.
you need to have at least one blank space. Okay, Python will be able to make, even if you have one blank space. But thing is, for us, generally we give a tab. Okay, tab looks good. Okay, because sometimes if you give one single space, you may not be able to see there's a space or not, right? For visualization purpose, we give tab. Okay, but Python says even one space is enough for me, but you have to give one space at least to indicate that this print statement is inside it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes.
now you know how to give
Indentation.
content inside this. Okay, that is first. Second thing is, when you're writing the first line of content inside if, you have choice. You give one space or one tab or two tab or 100 space, you have a choice. But if you are writing second line of content, you have to use same number of spaces that you gave in the first line. If I want to put this odd also inside if, let's say I want to put odd also inside if. So what I'll give? I'll give same number of space. So first I hit tab. So here also I hit tab. This indicates that value 1, the line number 18, val 1 is odd, is also inside if. It is part of if. Okay, you got it? No. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first line you have a choice. Whatever you want to give, the number of spaces, you can decide what you want to give, one or two, multiple spaces, up to you. But every other content that you want to be part of if have to have same number of spaces. So I give one tab here. So here too, I need to have only one tab spaces. Okay. Now when I run it, value is 500. So that's where these two statements, which is inside if, is not printed. Okay, then you have this main 19 line is part of main program, right? So this is printed. Even if I put this inside this, now when I run it, this line is not printed. So you can give any number of lines, and Python, by looking at the tab, knows which statements are part of if and which are not part of it. Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
here, if I comment this line, so the meeting will end in 10 minutes. I'll send you a fresh link when meeting ends. Okay, so please join.
Okay.
So if I, run it again, okay, so I didn't comment it, right? Okay, so I commented it now, and when I run it, so you see, now value is 5, 5 is less than 100. So all these three lines got printed. Yeah. Hello, odd and even. Okay, if I uncomment it, if I increase the value more than 100, okay, if I run it, so these three lines are not printed. This is how you can use condition. You want to perform some certain task, that condition has to be true to perform the task. If condition is false, you will not be able to perform the task.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how we use if. Okay. So here we are only checking a condition. If greater than 100, don't do anything. If less than 100, do something. Okay. This is what. But I said, right, you can do multiple conditions. Okay. So that's, we'll see multiple conditions. But before that, okay, we have something called as nested condition. Nested means yes, nest. So nested. Nested means condition inside a condition. Nested condition means condition inside a condition. So if inside if. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll first comment it out. Okay. So that we know that this if is executed, right? And what I'll do here, outside if, I'll print thank you, you know. So this thank you is part of your main program. So whether condition is false or true doesn't matter. This thank you will be printed. If condition is true, these lines will be printed. If it is false, these lines will not be printed. But since thank you is part of main, it will always be printed. Right? Thank you is part of main. This will always be printed. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's say I was talking about nested condition. Condition inside a condition. Okay. So when I say condition inside a condition, okay. So you have this if, okay. Inside this if, I want to write one more condition. So see, everything that I want inside if has to start from same position. Everything inside if has to start from same position. Okay. So here, okay, I'm going to have another condition called if. Okay. And how to check if a value is order even, Rajesh?
Sir, reminder one or not? One
So
or
if you
zero.
divide this value 1, okay, by 2, if the remainder equal to 0, see that? Modulo 2. Modulo 2, I'm checking remainder. If remainder is 0, then
Even.
it is even, correct? Or what I can
Yes.
do is equal to 1, I can say, for odd. Or I can say, you know, not equal to, right? So
Yes,
let's
sir.
say here, I'll do for even. So I'll say for modulo 2 equal to 1. This is odd. So equal to 1 colon. And this print is not part of this if. No, but we want to put this as part of the inside if, nested if.
Yes.
This print has to be part of this nested if. So I need to give a tab space. Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So
So,
now
sir,
value 1
even, sir.
is part of if. Now even is still part
Okay.
of this if. So if we
Yes,
have to
yes.
check two conditions, we say else. If you have to check two conditions, we say else. So what it means is, else means what? If the condition is true, get into if. If condition is false, get into else. If the condition is false, it will go to else. Okay.
Okay.
Now when I run it, you see value is 5, so it has gone inside this if. In this if, we are printing hello, so hello is printed. Then we are comparing value 1 modulo 2. So 5 modulo 2 equal to 1, isn't it? So it says
Yes, sir.
value is odd. This value is even is not printed because this is part of else. So if its condition is printed, else will not be printed. Right? If this
Yes.
is not printed, then this will be printed. So for example, if I make value equal to value plus 1. Okay, so now value will be 6, value 1, right? So now value will be 6, right? So when I run it, you see value. So this condition became false, right? This condition became false. So it went to else.
Get into else.
Yes. Any questions so far? Rajesh, any questions so far?
No, sir.
right? Okay. Now you can have more than one condition. Okay. So let's say we'll take one more example. Okay. Okay, so we'll take this example, printing grade. Okay, so the question is, okay, see, conditions and loops are very important. Okay, we'll be spending more time on this. Okay, we'll be doing a lot of practice. I'm going to give you assignment also. Okay, something that you can do at home. Okay, so coming back to our discussion here, let's say we want to find average marks and grade for 3 subjects. Okay, and
Okay.
the grading scheme is, okay, if average is greater than 80, grade A. Okay, let me copy and paste it. If it is more than 70, grade B. Okay, if more than 60, we will say grade C. More than 50, we'll say grade D. Okay, and if more than okay, or let's let's have only till 50. If average is less than 50, okay, so more than 50, more than equal, less than, greater than, equal to, all these are equal to. Okay, and if it is less than 50, we'll say grade E. Okay, we'll say grade E. Fine. Okay, so we'll end and we'll join again. Okay, I'll send you the new link.
Okay.
Okay, so you understood the question, right? So we need to
Yes.
take input from 3 subject marks. Okay, so how do we use input? I'm going to say marks 1 equal to input. Okay, let's say I'll say enter marks in science or something like that. Okay, so this is going to be input and the marks will be of type string, right? So what I'll do is I'll convert this into integer. We can do it to float also. Okay, so we can do float. Let's say I do float. Okay, now I'm going to copy this and paste it 3 times to save time, and I can say marks 2, marks 3, right? Marks in sense, science, say maths, and let's say I say here language. Okay, now how do you calculate sum? You will say sum equal to marks 1
Plus marks 2 plus marks 3.
yeah, marks 2 plus marks 3, right? And AVG will be sum by 3, and we can print average is AVG, right?
Yes.
So enter the marks in science, I say 70, maths 65, and language 85. So see, average is 73.3333,
23.
right? So this is
Yes.
answer to the first part.
Sir, if I want only 2 digit after the decimal point,
Yes, yes, tell me.
sir, if I want only 2 digit after this decimal point,
Mhm. So we
Hello.
discussed this. We discuss in formatting?
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. We discussed in formatting, right? Point to F.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So see, value you cannot change because we are calculating this. That's a formula, right? While displaying,
Okay.
what we can do is I can say format F. Okay, easier way, right? And I'm going to say, okay, and you can say point to F. So 70, 65, 85. So you got 23
Okay,
points.
okay, 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 sir.
Okay, this okay. So this is how you can do formatting. Okay, okay. So first part we have finished, right? Answer to the first part to calculate sum and average. Now
Yes.
we need to give grade, right? Now grade here, if you see, we don't have just two conditions. We have how many conditions? This is
1, 2,
if
3, 4, 5, 6, 6
five
condition.
five conditions, five A, B, C, D, E, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Now you see. So we have seen so far with one condition and with two conditions. If we have only one condition, so we use if. If we have two conditions, we use
If and else.
if else, right? So
Yes.
else is that if is not true, then else. Okay. So if you see, else did not. If you see here, else do not have a condition. If has a condition,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So else is like default in Python. Okay. So you have if for one condition, else for last condition, first condition if, last condition else.
Yes.
Everything in between we use what is called as ELIF. Okay. It is short form for else if. Okay. So we use ELIF and I'm going to show you how we use. If AVG greater than equal to 80. Okay. Print you got grade A, right? So if
Yes.
AVG greater than equal to 80, you got grade A. All fine. Else condition,
Yes, sir.
okay. So now, okay, so I need only one line in it. So, I put only one line. Then again, I'm coming back here. I'll say ELIF. ELIF means else if, okay.
Yes,
Second
sir.
condition, AVG greater than equal to, is it 70, I think, right? 70. Print.
But sir, um, 70 is
Yes, tell me. I lost your voice, Rajesh. Can't hear you.
no, sir. I not say anything.
नहीं बोलो क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो?
तो सर मतलब मेरा मिस्टेक था मैं
Okay. $50. So you got it? Okay.
yes
So
sir, yes sir.
okay. So if then we use ELIF, ELIF, ELIF. We have five conditions. So first one is if, last one is else. In between 3 minus 2, मतलब 5 minus 2, 3. 3 condition has to be ELIF, ELIF. So we used ELIF, ELIF, ELIF. Okay. So else is default condition. मतलब if none of the above conditions match, If everything above is false, okay, if this
Then
is
only
false,
getting
if this is also false, and this is also false, and this is also false, then only it will go to else. Okay. So how it works in any programming language, Python and other programming languages, this whole thing is one block. This whole thing is one block.
one block.
Okay. So how do you identify a block? Okay, block means if block. Okay, it's the whole thing is one if block. How do you know it is if block? How do you know it is beginning and end of block? Okay, you know it is beginning and end of block because the starting will be if. When you see if, okay, let's go to the previous one. Okay, when you see if, this means when you see if, this means it is the beginning of if block. Okay, when you see if लिखा हुआ है मतलब it's the beginning of if block. So यहाँ से यहाँ तक this whole thing is part of one if block. Okay, so how do you know it is end of if? It should have else or it may not have else. Okay, it will
हम
have
दूसरा जो लिखे है वो फिर वही लाइन से शुरू होगा, वो देख के हम समझेंगे।
नहीं वो
इसके आगे
देखते हैं एक एक करके जाएंगे पहले इसको समझते हैं फिर वहां जाते हैं। ठीक है, पहले इसको समझते हैं फिर नीचे जाते हैं। ओके, तो दिस इज योर इफ ब्लॉक। कैसे पता चला कि इट शुड हैव एल्स? अगर एल्स नहीं है देन यू आर राइटिंग मेन प्रोग्राम, प्रिंट, सो दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ मेन स्टार्ट हो गया, सो यू विल हैव आइदर इफ और यू हैव सम अदर कंडीशन बट नॉट elif or else. That means it is end of if block. ये inside वाला part is inside if का condition, inside if का part. So this is sub else. Okay, inside if का block. Okay, the whole thing is one main block, and this is inside if block, which starts from this if and goes to this else. Now coming back here, okay, this whole thing is one if block. So can it will have if, elif, and it will end only when you have else. Okay, when you say else, that means it is end of if block. This whole thing is if block. If block will have only one if. It will not have two if. It can have nested if, not main part of. Agar if hai, it becomes a second condition, not same condition. Okay. Next class when we meet, we'll see one example. Okay. But whenever you see if, that is the beginning of block. अगर nested है तो ठीक है, अगर बाहर में है at same level, that indicates that it's a different if block. Okay, so you have if, elif, else. इस केस में क्या है? If this is true, okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that in a if block, only one condition will be executed. More than one will never get executed. More than one will never get executed. So at max, only one condition will be executed. Okay. So when you have okay, when you have what? When you have multiple blocks, if, elif, else. Okay, in this case 5. Out of this 5, only one will be executed, not all 5. Okay, जो condition पहले match करता था, first matching condition will get executed. First matching condition will get executed and others will not execute it. If we get 85, let's say your average is 85, then this will get executed. So you got grade A will be called and nothing else will be executed. It will directly go to thank you. Okay, I'll write here thank you. Okay, nothing else will be executed. It will directly go to thank you. Now let's say you got 75. This condition is false. So this will not get executed. It comes here. 25 is greater than 70, correct? So this will get executed. You get grade B and it will go to thank you. Okay, only one condition at any given point of time will be called, not more than one. If you get 65, then 44 condition will be. So the first two condition, if and ELIF, okay, these two
false.
conditions will be false. Only this condition will be true. So this will be printed and go out. 55 में ये होगा. And if it is 49, 48, okay, so 49, 48, all these are false. When everything is false, default condition is else. If everything is false, default condition is
Else.
so it will go to else and else will be printed.
Okay, sir, I understand.
Okay. So in this case, if I run, since average is 73.33, you will get grade C. Okay. Okay. So we said 70, 65, 85. Okay. So you got grade. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. I want you to practice everything. Okay. And I'll give you some assignments to do.
Okay.
Okay. You have 2 days, right? In fact, 3 days, correct? We'll
Yes,
meet
sir.
on Monday. So assignment. Okay. Just 2 programs. Okay. First program is take marks in 5 subjects using input. Okay. And check if the student has passed or not. Right? Greater than
Okay.
equal to, okay, average greater than equal to 50 is pass, else fail. Okay. Now, if passed, then check if scored. Okay, if passed, then check. Okay, that means nested condition. If score or if average is greater than equal to 90, say you win a medal. Okay. Second condition is check person, age and nationality and confirm if the person is eligible to vote in India or not. Okay, this is your assignment.
Nationality.
So age 2 input, age and nationality, and if that person is eligible to vote in India or not. Yes.
सर तब प्रोग्राम तो ओनली नेशनलिटी से होगा एज का
18 years, हाँ. अगर 18 से बड़ा है तो
Okay,
ही
okay,
वो
okay,
eligible to vote, correct?
yes, yes.
If it is less than 18, then you won't. The person is not eligible to vote.
Okay, okay.
Do this program for assignment, practice whatever we have done. Okay, and then we'll see you on Monday.
और सर सैटरडे जेंगो क्लास होगा कल
Sunday. I'll confirm you. बताऊंगा मैं. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir,
99%. Yes, we will have it.
okay, sir.